Welcome to my garage makeover, and trust me, it's about time. I'm going to be trading in that flimsy wire shelving for a custom-built wraparound storage system. And I'm going to start with the biggest part, and that's going to be right behind you, a 3-unit shelf and cabinet, which eventually is going to get some doors, to hide everything. And then later on, we're going to figure out the whole wraparound portion too. I'm Rachel de Barros, and this is Gearhead Diva. Oh, what? So now you guys decide to show up? Man, you should have seen this place a couple hours ago. I took down my little wire shelving and everything ended up on the floor. I know that I can come up with some type of solution to deal with this multiple personality situation I have going on that's gonna make my workshop life happy as well as my personal life. So let's see what we got going on. I'm thinking starting over here, all that lawn equipment. That stuff is tall, it's bulky, so maybe a large, tall storage cabinet with doors, so we can hide all that stuff. Then after that, I'm thinking somehow something's gonna happen here to connect that over here into this wall where maybe I can fit another 3 cabinets, because if you don't see this stuff, it actually doesn't exist. It goes like to the land of Narnia and all that. For the 3 upright units that are gonna go on that wall over there, we're gonna build them individually, but I thought instead of putting them up individually, I think I'm gonna fuse them all together into a trifecta of units, and we're gonna put it up all at once. I think that's gonna make my life a ton easier when it comes to shimming. So if you see behind me, I already took 2 18-width-inch pieces right here, sandwiched them together with glue and some brad nails, and right now it's gluing with all these clamps. So we have our 2 boards glued together. I'm just throwing on some clamps, get everything lined up, and then top of that I'm gonna throw on some brad nails and then let the glue dry. So I went with these shelf pins here. They are 1/4 inch in diameter and 3/8 inch in length. So the next step is gonna be drilling a whole bunch of holes for these, and for that, I went ahead and measured the depth of our dowel here, our shelf pin actually, and marked it off with tape so I know that I only drill up to the silver part and I know I have the right depth. So to drill your shelf pin holes, you can buy commercially made jigs. Me, I'm DIYing this one. Just a simple pegboard. I marked out the holes that I'm going to use as a guide, and the less that I have to move this, the more accurate my holes are going to be. So starting from the top, I'm gonna have some oversized items, so there's no use in putting holes all the way up to the top. We're not gonna have any, mini shelves or anything. So I'm gonna go with 14. That's a pretty safe number right there. Drill. All of our shelf pin holes are finally drilled out, and now it's time for the actual fun part, which is cutting out all the pieces we're gonna need. So top parts, bottom parts, all the adjustable shelving, along with the nailers that we're gonna use to secure this monstrosity to the wall over here. Whoa, I know you guys wanna help out, but you're getting a little too close, so tell you what, get some safety gear on you. There you go. I'll do the same. All my shelving, my top parts, my bottom parts, they're all waiting for me back there. And the last bit of cutting I have to do is our nailer. So normally you can use a piece of common board for this. Me, I had so much plywood left over that, might as well eat through that. Save some money, right? All right, I think that's all all we need for this because we're about to start pocket hole mania. Yeah, we're gonna be drilling a bunch of pocket holes. They're really simple. They don't require any fancy equipment or skills, and they're pretty strong. And when I combine them with glue, it's gonna be unstoppable. So this is our middle cabinet here, and this is our 20-inch one, and I have this upright already attached. It's screwed and glued over at that end, so I'm gonna try and repeat the same on here. This is an awfully long run to the top without any support in the middle. And I wouldn't want it to bow and get kind of like that Santa belly. I'm gonna put a stationary shelf right in the middle to kind of like act as a corset and cinch this whole thing together. We are pretty far into the build, and you can see that the middle portion is done. This is our open back bookcase here. The 32-inch cabinet is also done. This area is where we're gonna have some doors to cover up this mess. Now, all I'm gonna do on this side is match what I did here, and then this trio of cabinets is done. I'm getting ready to wrap up our last unit of the 3, and all it needs is a stationary shelf here on the bottom. So our trio of carcasses here is finally done. Now this is the unit that's gonna go on this side of the wall, and we'll worry about the rest later. And as you can see, well, all the edges of our plywood here is exposed. Now this being like shop storage, that may not matter to you, but I think I can take it up a level. I'd rather add a little bit more strength to this by making a face frame. And all we're gonna do is take some pine or common wood. You can even take maple for this and lay it on top of our seams here. And if we do that all the way across, not only is it gonna make the frame more sturdy, it's gonna give us a little bit of a nicer finish. Our vertical pieces for our face frame is in, and now it's time for the horizontals. So looking at this and matching it up to what I have going on, I'm doing about 3 inches from the base. That gives me a nice little lip on this side to catch anything that decides to jump out of my storage system. I'm gonna pinch it where it meets our bottom shelf here, so I know I can glue in this area all the way up and down. That's super high-tech secret that I'm sharing with you guys. For our stationary shelves, I decided to go with a 1x2. A little bit something different going on in the middle. It's like an outfit. It's like you can think of this as accessorizing with a belt and earrings. Using every last drop. I'm finishing up my face frame with this last top piece. part of our build is done. And yeah, it's this triple unit here, and it's upright. So it's almost ready to load with some stuff, and it's kind of turned out bigger than I even imagined, although, you know, all the measurements worked out. So it's challenging me to, I don't know, maybe get more stuff, more tools, more things to store. Now, the last step before staining this thing is putting on our backing panel. And I cut it to fit just this open area up top here, and I'm leaving the bottom open so that way we can access our outlet. So let's see how my cuts worked out. I'm just gonna use some glue and staples to secure it to the back. It is time to stain. Yeah, welcome to my staining party. You know, a lot like other social events where you're excited to go, but then 2 hours in, you're like, okay, time to sneak away from this. It's a lot of work. So for this project, we definitely have two different types of wood going on. The common wood for our frame, and then of course for our carcass here is our birch. So they stain a little bit differently. So you want to make sure to sand everything down, get all that glue and impurities off. And then after that, you want to precondition the wood. That's going to help the different types of wood accept the stain more evenly. But with that said, you might find that you have to put 2 coats on the common wood and 1 coat on the birch, or vice versa, depending on whatever wood you're using. So keep that in mind. In the meantime, come on now, go grab your pajamas, your mitts, and let's start the party. Check out this stain. It turned out amazing. Well, looks like it's ready for its storage party. I'm gonna stuff a whole bunch of things on here. So I'm gonna get it up against the wall. But wait, first things first, the most important, I gotta find me some studs. Well, I'm not gonna be able to store anything here without any shelving. So all the shelves in our larger units are gonna be concealed by doors. But the ones up here, they're gonna be exposed. And even though I went ahead and stained the shelves, if you look really closely, you can see that plywood edging there. It's all just unfinished. It doesn't look so bad, but I think I'm gonna get creative with it a little bit. So I can use edge banding, but have something a little nicer, something that'll give it kind of a steampunk, bronzy type of look. All right, well, don't just stand there. Pick up a board and give me a hand. All right, time to load her up. But whew, I don't know about you guys, I'm a little tired, but good news, we got the big stuff out of the way. So next time, I'm gonna try and figure out, you know, this little corner here. I'm sure we can squeeze a little more storage. So I don't know about you, but look at me. Time for a shower. I'm covered in wood dust, and I'm sure you guys would love to do the same. So join me next time. I'm Rachel Barros, and this has been Gearhead Diva.